Our next guest is our go-to guy in Scripps Ranch. Please welcome back to the show real estate expert Scott Ryan and his special guest from the Miramar Ranch North Planning Committee, Lorayne Burley.
All right, here they are.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to the show. Welcome back, Scotty.
Thank you, Derek.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in
you for
today.
having me today.
A lot going on at Scripps Ranch, Scotty. Tell us what's up.
It's happening. Well, I want to bring on Lorayne because there's so many hot planning issues going on. It's still word on the street. People, I get the question all the time when I'm around, what's going on with the Watermark division and everything else. So I wanted to bring on Lorayne to talk about some of the hot topics around Scripps Ranch and get the word out to our local residents.
What's going on with Watermark, Lorayne?
Well, the Watermark Project is a very exciting project for the community. The residents are looking forward to having some additional choices for restaurants, for shopping. It's supposed to be walkable, have a water feature. It will hopefully be a destination place that people will want to go spend the evening at or during the day. But people have been eagerly waiting, and unfortunately it's going to be 2 or 3 years off now until they see any development on that.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, they have one committed tenant, which is the Whole Foods Market, which people are very excited about, and many people ask about.
Let's get it done.
So that's a committed tenant. They are going to be located up there on the land site that the Christmas trees are sold and the pumpkin patch. But other than that, they don't have, or they're not releasing committed tenants that they have. So when they get more tenants, then they will try to accelerate the building plan.
Okay, so it's just a matter of demand for tenancy, not necessarily any kind of roadblock.
Correct, that's my understanding. Now there is another development that is going on there at that site, and that is the Med Impact second building and parking structure. That will begin in mid-2017. That had to go through a rezone through City Council because they wanted to move the building site to easterly and change the access to a parking garage. But that is going to be going through approval on August 25th, and then that is what residents will see initially in construction there at Med Impact.
Scotty, will anything with that development affect things? Like, is it good to have that type of industry right there in Scripps? Will people want to buy houses to just be right there by work? Or
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit. I mean, I think the most desirable thing about Scripps Ranch is the residents, the location. You know, it's a very desirable place to live, but the one thing we lack is a number of restaurants and amenities that, you know, places like the Coast or Carmel Valley, these other desirable communities have. So the Watermark, in my opinion, is a must-have. We got to have it. I was just having dinner downtown on Saturday, and I ran into Brian Malarkey, who owns, you know, some of the greatest restaurants that San Diego's seen. And I was talking to Brian. We're talking about the Watermark, and I said, Brian, please, please, bring your talent to Scripps Ranch. You know. And I said it would be so incredible to have a place like Urban Wood or Searsucker or these. I mean, because you look at the median income in Scripps Ranch, and it's an upper middle class community. There's people that can afford and will spend money to go to nice restaurants. You know, case in point, a new restaurant called Little Italy just opened up. There was an old French restaurant closed down. I've been in there a couple times. It's packed all the time. People want something new, innovative, a new place to go. So I think having it is ultra important, and it will help the real estate values in the area.
Okay. That makes sense. And we also have SDG&E. There's something going on there, too, with the transmission
But
line.
you know, let me add one more thing with
please.
the Watermark. There is a website, thewatermarksandiego.com, that has a sim photo of the layout of the project. So that's exciting for people to go take a look at if they'd like.
Okay, no problem.
But the SDG&E power line, the Public Utilities Commission has made a proposal to upgrade the power lines. There are some proposed routes. One of the proposed routes is along Scripps Poway Parkway, where it currently is, and another proposed route is underneath Palmrado Road, which some residents are not happy about. The California Public Utilities Commission will be hearing the matter in the next month, so we will be hearing a result on where they determine the eventual power line to be placed.
Is one going to be better or the other for the community or for real estate, Scotty?
I mean, there's already existing lines along Scripps Poway Parkway. You know, anytime you sell real estate, sometimes when people buy real estate close to those lines, they have concerns about, you know, radiation and that sort of thing. So I would say to anybody buying real estate in that area, you know, just do the proper test and do your research before you buy a home along that area. But you know, that's way above my realm. I imagine it'll probably continue down the existing is probably, you know, the most efficient use of time and space and money,
Okay.
I'd say.
Okay. Well,
But
we shall find out soon enough.
Yes.
that's to the powers that be, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the Voices of Scripps Ranch. For anyone especially who doesn't know about it, what is it and what's going on right now?
Well, the Voice of Scripps Ranch is a coalition of residents for the reasonable use of the Scripps Mesa Conference Center site. And that site is owned by the San Diego Unified School District, and that property is currently leased and home to the Innovation Academy Charter School. And the school district has entered into a term agreement with the Monarch Development Group to build a 4-story apartment building under a 66-year lease, after which the land would then become owned by the school district.
Okay, and so that definitely brings up kind of I'm sure there's some issues with that in Scripps Ranch. Residents probably
Many issues.
divided amongst what they think that might be best, because you're talking about removing education, but we need the units in Scripps, right, Scotty?
Yeah, I mean, when that story came out, there was huge opposition within the community. I think they probably had the biggest group of people at the planning meeting that I've ever seen. And obviously, anytime you're talking education versus real estate, those are two important topics, right? Scripps Ranch definitely has a very limited supply of rental units, and that's common across the county right now, it seems like. Anytime you're looking for any kind of rental, there's just a lack of housing, especially in the desired community where, prices are high and for some families it's not affordable, so they elect to rent. But I think with that particular space, there could be a win-win for both sides. I think it needs to be redone where you have maybe some small mixed use, maybe a 2-story building where you do have some residential units there, and maybe some retail down below, but not a 4-story building. I think from an aesthetic standpoint and from a traffic implication, that is already a very busy intersection to begin with. The other point which you brought up is the taxpayer dollars that are being used to relocate that school. This is taxpayer money, and
Yeah, there's $20 million being proposed from your Prop Z bond funds to relocate the charter school and build them a new facility.
Wow.
They asked for $50 million, they only got $20 million, and they're going to need more to actually make it happen. So that's kind of ignited a little bit more fire under the residents. Some people are opposed to any kind of use that's not school, but there are people, including myself, who would support something more like a 2-story residential units, apartment units with shopping. That would be fine. It would be a better fit for the community than the current plan.
Okay, well, is there anything that people can do in Scripps Ranch to make their voice heard about what they think?
Oh
on this
yeah,
stuff?
thank you for asking.
Yeah.
There's a website, voiceofscripsranch.com. They can visit that website. They can get on the mailing list from that website, and also in the SRCA newsletter, the group is publishing articles and updates. The Voice of Scripps Ranch will be presenting there, so that will be another opportunity for people to get information.
Okay, great stuff. And Scotty, while I got you here,
Yeah.
I got to ask you about Scripps Ranch real estate. What's going on? The market's been so hot.
it's
Diego,
crazy. The last show I had on, we talked about that new listing I had. I sold it yesterday. I've had open houses. Things are just moving quickly. We still have a huge shortage of inventory. I think there's less than 65 detached homes for sale right now. So there's a lot of people looking at downsizing Scripps Ranch, which is pretty common right now. I've met a lot of people that have larger homes. I mean, if I had 30 single-level 2,000 square foot homes for sale, I'd sell them all today. So I think I'm hoping that inventories will improve, but as long as rates stay low and things are hot, I think a lot of people are trying to hold on to their equity and kind of feel out, what's going to happen this election and the real estate market and everything else. But things are going good. If you're a seller, you're in a great position right now. And if you're a buyer, call me. My specialty is really finding a lot of off-market properties, and I've been able to do that for a lot of my clients. So
Yeah, that's the way to get a property these days. Great stuff, Scotty. Thank you so much for coming.
You're
on.
welcome.
Really appreciate
Pleasure
your
to
time.
be here.
Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.